So the volcanoes. What are the volcanoes? So the mainstream is there's rivers of lava. There's rivers of lava flowing underneath us, and the lava just hot because it's just hot. Don't keep asking questions here. It's hot and it stays hot. You know. Second law of thermodynamics out the window. Forget about it. You know. Have you ever seen a pot of water that you boiled? Oh, it just stayed boiling for days on end without any energy being put back into the system. You know, how does that happen? Oh my gosh! Well, I don't know. We melted a metal and it stayed melted for a long, long time. Steel. We're not talking about mercury here. Steel, melted steel in a furnace, and it stayed hot for years. It was still, molten and red hot for years. Oh wow! And underground, which is the ground is an insulator. It's freaking electric ground for crying out loud. So sand, dirt are like some of the greatest insulators uh, out there. Just So the molten rivers, it's just easy as that. Think of anything that's really freaking hot in your personal experience, in your lifetime, or that you've seen an experiment, that it stays hot. It just doesn't happen. Oh, there's source of heat. Well, tell me what that source of heat is, please. By all means, go ahead. I'm listening. Never gonna happen. But so the plate tectonics, the continents move, they move around. It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle. Again, something that's never been proven. It's just a theory. There's no equipment to see below, 30 feet, 100 feet, a mile. How can you see past a mile of, grounding? The ground is literally designed to obstruct perforation. It's designed to obstruct any sort of vision. It's designed to obstruct any sort of, heat transference. It's designed to obstruct any sort of electric transference. It's designed to obstruct any kind of radar, any kind of sonar, any and all equipment that want to pierce that veil, if you want to call it that veil that we have underneath us. There's another one above us, but that's for another time. So it's literally a veil, a physical barrier that's designed there, for all intents and purposes, to impede us or whomever's on the surface from extracting too many truths from below. So whatever conclusions, whatever assumptions, whatever knowledge we want to gain, we have to be real honest with ourselves and do it from our humble, tiny, puny human perspective. Very limited band of of senses, band of imagination on here on the surface. So what I'm telling you is that all these conclusions that are on the textbooks, on the science books, fake science books, on mainstream media, on YouTube, they have no basis in reality. They have no evidence whatsoever for what a volcano is and how it came into existence. All we see is a mound, or sometimes flat ground. If you watch the Icelandic volcanoes, sometimes they're ground level, and just the buildup of the sludge, of the molten, whatever it is. Is it molten rock? Well, I'll get to that in a minute. Of the molten sludge, it builds up, and then it can create a mound. Sometimes they're huge. They're like mountains. But is that a coincidence? Is that not a coincidence? Sometimes they're ground level. Sometimes they're calderas. Sometimes they have huge calderas. Sometimes they don't. So there's all different kinds. I'll show some media. And then when sometimes they erupt, explode very violently, that could be a buildup of pressure. Yeah, I give you that. Of course, pressure is pressure, and if it's pent up, then you have it can explode violently when it reaches the breaking point of the material, the resistance at very high speeds, very high FPS, feet per second. But so what are they? If they're not what they're telling us, if they're not the molten rivers of flowing metals and molten sludge that's always flowing, below beneath the earth, then what are they? We do see the smoke coming out. We do see the toxic clouds. We do see the ashes. We do see the lava, which is a molten something, whatever it might be. It appears when it cools down, it appears to be some kind of porous rock. That's what it appears to be, right? But what is it in fact? Um, so, for example, here I'll tell you my methodology because that's what I'm here to share. More than the actual results, because the results might be flawed. I might have reached the wrong conclusions. And by all means, please correct me if you have constructive criticism. When you've seen the things that I've seen, and that's why I'm going to share them with you. I don't want to be like come off as pretentious. Um, then you stop calling it nature. It's not nature. There's nothing natural about where we live. It's all supernatural, like all the time, completely 100%. There's nothing natural about the world that we live in. So the volcano, what could it be then? Oh my gosh. What happens? What can people do with these volcanic rocks? Well, there you take your methodology and what would that say? Do we ask mainstream science? Do we ask the mainstream guy? Do we watch the mainstream YouTuber? Do we watch the mainstream video? No, we don't. We go to the guy that's doing a video on sword casting, or has a foundry and he's doing little pocket knives, or he's doing little pocket projects about melting stuff. And that guy has absolutely no interest in the truth or the non-truth or the lie, whatever. He's just not into it. He's completely out of the loop. And that's the guy you go watch and you see, oh, what's he doing with that lava rock, with that volcanic black rock, volcanic gray black rock. What's he doing with it? Let's go watch it. And then you see them, and they melt it. How do they melt it? Do they melt it with a regular furnace? With a regular foundry? Watch it. They don't. They might get it to melt a little bit, but it melts to a place, to a degree where it's not very hot and it's not very liquid. It's not very malleable. To get to that, they have to use an electric arc furnace. And there, I just gave you the answer. Electric arc furnace. Wow. When I saw that, my mind was blown, like, wow, that's amazing. So you can for a fact melt rocks. You can for a fact melt volcanic rocks. I didn't know that it was possible to melt a rock. I thought rocks and bricks and sand. Well, sand no, because you can make glass and that's with high heat. But I thought the rest they could only be broken or shattered or crunched. But I didn't know they could be melted. And then you're like, wow, that's the mind blowing second right there. That's the gold right there, the golden nuggets of wisdom. That's when you find some truth. And then you keep digging. No pun again. All these puns showing up, right? So I'm sorry for that, but it's funny. You have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy the game of the truth seeking, of the unlocking of the doors, of the running after that crazy old white rabbit, down the rabbit hole and trying to catch the bastard by the ears or by the bushy tail, but you come close, but you can never quite catch him, right? So, but anyway, and he keeps going down the left hole, the right hole, the up and down, and you get all twisted upside down. But Stay fresh, stay happy, stay children at heart. Again, going back to the wisdom of Christ. Who is our Savior. So I have to say it. Sorry if it offends anybody, but it's just the truth. You'll get to it eventually if you do your research and you're honest with yourself. But anyway, the rock, melted rock. What do you have to use? Electric arc furnace. Oh my gosh. So what happens to it after it gets melted? Well, you'll see. Watch the videos. I'll put some there in the links or some on the here in the media. Well, could it possibly be then that's what the volcanoes are? No, couldn't be like wow by any stretch of the imagination. Seriously, is there a way that underground or beneath our feet, well, not my feet, but beneath, Iceland or, Hawaii or wherever the volcanoes are active, there's some sort of electrical or electromagnetic level event going on right now, in the past, in the future, to where there's enough electricity, enough voltage, enough amps, enough power, enough watts to where there's a closed circuit, a short circuit, and things get fired up. Kaboom! And you have a blast. You have that electrical discharge, and they and things just start flowing from there. Again, no pun. And things start melting away. Think of the size and the magnitude. If you have a window near you, or you have some images on your computer, I want you to look at the mountain right now. Look at the ocean. Look at if you don't have just look out your neighborhood. Look at the sky. Look at the moon. Look at the sun. Look at whatever you can look that's big and natural. Again, sorry about the word natural. There's nothing natural about the world. It's all supernatural. We've been led to believe that it's natural. There's absolutely not one single thing natural about where we live. But anyway, look out there. Look at if you're in a closed room somewhere, look at a freaking picture. Google a picture of a mountain, a volcano, whatever, the ocean, a desert, and it just blows your mind, the magnitude right now. If you're running outdoors right now, if you're on the treadmill, wherever you are, just try to look at something big and gnarly out there. It's freaking insane, the magnitude, right? So you have this little old guy doing a electric arc furnace with two electrodes, in his garage or in his backyard, and he's melting the rocks, and with a few batteries, spare batteries. What kind of power can that guy draw? He's already doing that. Now imagine, you have positive pole on this side, negative pole on that side. You have a cathode, an anode here. Imagine they're the size of a building, and that's the scale. Bigger than that. They're the size of a mountain. Imagine two caches underground of whatever materials are needed, and they're rubbing up against each other, and there's this electrical potential, this electrical discharge, and kaboom, they just boom, they just strike the nerve that needs to be struck, and there goes the arch, there goes your plasma, boom, and then the rocks start melting, then you start getting the pressure build up, and then that thing just blasts sky high, literally sky high, then you get your volcano. So what I'm saying is, out of no underground observation, because it's impossible, but out of observing the world that's in front of us, the supernatural world that's in front of us, the volcanoes, um, and the electrical arc furnaces, torches, devices. That could be a theory. That could be a thing. That could be an explanation. So go ahead, prove me wrong, prove me right. Let me know in the comment section what you think. This have some truth, have some teeth, have some claws, maybe not. Just chew on it, think about it, do a little digging, no pun, and let's see what you guys can come up with. I will be most thankful for your feedback, most thankful for your thoughts. See what can come out of this. I've always been mystified by lightning coming out of the volcanic explosions. Lightning is plasma, so that's another point of evidence there. Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C, right? This could be. So why does that happen? Science is going to give you like some BS explanation. There's no BS explanation. There's no explanation. That could be an explanation. What's happening is that superheated plasma rock, or I suspect it might be something other than rock, is getting melted by this huge, amazingly powerful electric arc furnaces that are underneath the earth, and they're striking a chord. That thing is shooting up, and it's melting through layers of rock. It's melting through levels of sand. You know how hot that thing has to be, how much pressure and the quantity, and then you just see the lava flows flowing and flowing and flowing. These guys, when they melt the lava rocks or the rocks with their home electric arc furnaces, like electric arc furnace EAF, I think they're called EAFs. The thing just lasts liquid for a few seconds, and you see those flows of lava just going and going and going nonstop. Like, so how much power is behind that? It's unbelievable. Again, it might be something that has an electrical origin. Is what I'm saying. It might be an electrical phenomenon that's occurring underneath us that is just creating this plasma, and it's blowing upwards, where it can go, and that level heat rises. So heat rises, remember that. So it's going up, and it's breaking through the surface of where we live in, and sometimes you'll see in the explosion, you'll see lightning. You'll see actual plasma lightning in the air being created. So that could be, a thing, because it's already electrically charged. It's already coming from the electrical charge below that's liquefying everything, and then it's breaking through the surface. When it strikes the air, again, all that electric potential, you see the lightning. So again, I think that's a lot of evidence, just things that we can see with our own eyes, and we can find video that hasn't been doctored. Look for video that hasn't been photoshopped or messed with, played with, to fool you. So you look for that independent video where, like, oh my gosh, there is really lightning in a lot of these cases for the volcanoes breaking through. There's lightning coming from the cloud into the lava plasma, into the earth, and that's just so strange. Why would there be? If the mainstream theory was correct, then there's literally no explanation. They have to come up with a bogus BS explanation. So what I'm telling you again is there's some sort of, there might be, right? We have no proof, but we just have these evidences that are showing us these amazing things of some sort of electromagnetic or electric phenomenon downstairs that might be just generating this plasma flow, and creating the volcanoes. So it could be, maybe it couldn't be. For my mud fossils people out there, And the molten buildings, the molten mountains, the molten temples, the molten roads, the molten bricks, the molten concrete. Maybe that that can happen in the surface. If it happens downstairs, maybe it can happen here, on the ground level. Maybe that's some sort of cyclical phenomenon, or it can be an induced phenomenon, or it can be an act of God given under certain circumstances where the stuff hits the fan here on the surface, and you can get some sort of wacky, you know, extinction level event, apocalyptic level event where, you know, you can get some of that plasma apocalypse upstairs here, and just everything gets melted to crap. Everything gets melted, and there's a place I want to take a picture of. Like, you see the mountains, there's a place when they sometimes I drive through, and they've cut out a side of the mountain, and it looks like a cinnamon roll. If you're hungry, you go through there. I'll send you a picture. I'll try to post a picture. um, it looks like a freaking cinnamon roll. Like, wow, how did that happen? How did this stone like just get moved like sideways and into that roll-like position? Like circles of rock. How does that happen? Naturally, like under the mainstream theories, there's no way. Like that guy say, there's no way, there's no way, there's no way, but it has to be, but it has to be. It doesn't have to be. If 1 + 1 equals 3, then you're missing a piece of information. Okay, so look for that again in the keys to finding the truth. Um, that might happen, or have happened, or could happen in the surface under certain extreme circumstances. Knock on wood, that could generate this just intense level heat under like with electrical phenomenon, where the plasma just melts everything like to the gutter. Melts just absolutely every buildings, entire civilizations. And it could be something that happens in the atmosphere. It could be something coming from up above the firmament, or it could be something from below the other veil down below us, or it could be some people have said there might be archangels involved. Think of the word archangel, electric arc furnace. The English language has so many little tricks hidden inside there because it's a designed language. It's an artificial language. It's a manufactured language. That's another key to the truth. I'll discuss that in another video. And there's just the evidence is overwhelming to prove that, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, it's just a lot to think about, and then build on it. It's not like, oh, you learned the Earth is flat. Oh my God, let's stop learning there, and we know everything, and I'm better than you. No, 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 no. It's like, wow, open your eyes, and let's keep going. What else is out there? The mud floods. The English language. What's hidden in the language? The mountains, what's in the ocean, what's in the ocean, the volcanoes. So again, think about this possible explanation for what the volcanoes might be. It could also be related to piezo electricity. Going back to the electric arc furnaces, the ones, for example, they build at home, they have the two cathodes. They're made out of carbon. So go figure, carbon. The two carbon rods, because they're not very conductive, and then they'll help create the plasma and the arc with the electricity current going through them. So what's down below us? We have a lot of carbon. How many carbon mines are there? Like, and they say, oh, it's fossil fuels. It has nothing to do with fossil fuels. It's the stuff that's underneath us. So there's a lot of carbon. Imagine all all the carbon mines. Imagine if like a huge cache of our carbon on one side meets another huge cache of carbon on the other side, and then they meet downstairs somewhere in the middle, and they have this huge electrical power, powering each side. Imagine the level of fusion of plasma discharge that would create. There you have your volcano. So it's these little things. That's where you find the nuggets of wisdom, the nuggets of truth, to lead you on your way and go on to new discoveries. And hopefully, this information that I've shared with you will help you on your discoveries, on your journey. If you, I don't care if you're 12 years old, if you're 50, if you're 20, if you're 25, you're 80, wherever you come from, whatever walk of life, as a human being, just if you've done bad, if you've done good, wherever you might be, if you're single, if you're divorced, if you're married, if you're not married, if you have kids, if you're a kid, just use this information. Like, try to get yourself to the next level. Dig in deeper. Again, no pun. Just use the information. Try to validate it. Try to prove it. Try to disprove it. Try to find more evidence for it. Try to find more evidence against. In alternate sources, not in the regular mainstream sources, and unrelated sources where they have no vested interest in the outcome, in what you might be saying, and there you can find the truth. Okay, that's what I'm all about, and that's what I'm trying to get out there for you guys to ride with it. Just ride with it and take it, much further, much higher than I could ever or anybody else has in the past. There might be some people. There's this theory that they know everything. They have all the secrets. The they is like, okay, well, the people in the know, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe they're just they have some things that they know more than we do, probably, but maybe there's a lot of things that they are ignorant, and and they're completely in the dark about. Maybe not, but we have to worry about ourselves, right, guys? So worry about yourself, making your impact on the world, in your life, the people that matter to you, the people like your, in your surroundings, your family, your friends, yourself, and work on that. Work towards the truth, work towards the light, work towards the good, what's good for you, what's good for everybody, the greater good. So that's my message for today. And there might probably a few things that I might have missed. I might edit the audio or not, and I'll add the media. Don't forget, they say that subscribe, comment, these things. Of course, please. It's very much appreciated. But no, honestly, I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. And so let's go from there, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. And, wish you guys all the best. May you have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, beautiful evening, and just rock on, and give it your best. Be the best that you can be at everything that you want to do, right? And just your best is gonna shine. It's gonna shine.